r/ask Reddit. What improved your life so much you wished you did sooner? Stopped arguing with random strangers on internet. Sometimes I'll type out a comment for the catharsis and then just delete it and go on my way. Oh god, I do that all the time. Write out this well thought out reply back with evidence and whatever. Then go, this idiot isn't even going to read half of this, and delete it and go on my day. Doing at least one chore a day. You would be amazed at how well getting something done, even if you hate it, can fight back against certain depressive mentalities, particularly the ones that convince you you're useless or are a burden. This is great advice. For me, a triple 30 worked wonders. Every day spend 30 minutes cleaning chores, 30 minutes exercise, and 30 minutes of self-improvement, which could be anything, e.g. practicing guitar, get home from work, knock off the triple 30 in 5 hours, and oh man, the sloth after that feels so good and so earned. And what's 5 hours? Nothing. Highly recommend it. Edit. Not only does it annihilate your housework, its biggest effect on me was kicking the ass of my depression and anxiety. It's not gone, but so much more manageable. Edit 2. Thank you for the awards. I am absolutely delighted that this resonated with people. It made such a difference for me. Somehow I've never heard of this, but I think I'm going to start doing this. Thank you. I started viewing things as potential experiences rather than just opportunities for achievement. Before that, for example, if I took a class, then I was only focused on the grade. If I couldn't get a good grade, I didn't like the class. Heck, I wouldn't even start a book if I thought it might be too hard or too long and I might not finish it. Then I realized the purpose of classes, and books and other things, was to learn, and that hard ones were likely the ones I learned the most from. Even if I didn't get the best grade, I started doing all sorts of stuff with the idea that I just wanted the experience. Even if I was the worst one out there, who cares? I wasn't there for the achievement. I wanted to learn things. This works socially as well, and I started taking way more risks, telling myself that, at the very least, it would be a learning experience. I saw the saying once, it's only a failure if you stop trying. Otherwise, it's an experiment. I love it. A good quote goes something along the lines of, to be good at something you have to be brave enough to suck at it for a while. Not sure if that's something someone famous says, but it's what I tell young people, even old people. The great philosopher Jake the dog once said, sucking at something is the first step to being kinda good at something. Moved away from the state I grew up in. I didn't know how unhappy I was. I had gotten used to being miserable, and now that I'm in a better area, I'm a completely different person. I did this but moved halfway around the world. It's amazing how much background stress is gone when I finally accepted that I was just not meant to be where I was. I miss my family, but we stay in regular contact, and I have a lovely found family here. Sometimes just up and getting out of a place that isn't for you is the best course of action. Where did you move from and to? I'm curious. Learning to set boundaries and say no. It's so important to be able to do this, and while most people realize the benefits for yourself, it's so much nicer to have a partner you know will say no and set boundaries. An ex of mine was really worried about messing things up and would rarely say no or set boundaries, even though I was constantly pushing her to set them, and I had to be really slow and pay attention to her, and she tried to hide any discomfort so I would know. It stemmed from her past and how she was taught to act growing up. But we were able to work on it, and she was much better later on. While it's always important to watch out for your partner's reactions to make sure they're comfortable anyways, having someone who tells you when and when they don't feel comfortable makes a world of difference. All is to say, don't think it's selfish to say no and set boundaries. It's much better for everyone, especially yourself. Have a good day. I used to get so hurt when my husband didn't want to join me in something. We finally talked about it, and I decided it was because I didn't know how to say no to something he wanted to do, so I expected the same courtesy. It took him saying you can say no to things too for the light bulb to turn on. If I ever declined something growing up, it was considered rude or disrespectful to the person offering. Daily exercise. It doubled my energy for an hour out of my day. And that's just the benefit you get now. You have no idea the dividends you'll collect on that as you age. The key to aging gracefully is in staying active. I have worked with seniors for years in the capacity of wellness exercise, and you can absolutely pick the ones who are and have been consistently active out of the crowd, not just in exercise form but in all facets. Quitting smoking. Smoked 45 years, 3 weeks and 1 day. Haven't had one since March. Congratulations. You're amazing. I smoked 43 years and have been smoke free for 71 days. Congrats to you both. Low impact cardio. Duck, I love to run, but it destroyed my legs. I can swim my little heart out. Swimming is great, lot of fun, refreshing, and good exercise. Believe it or not, ice hockey is really low impact on your joints too. I can't run without pain, and even biking seems to tear up my knees, but hockey always makes me feel better. When I was told that I would lose my eyesight, it made me pay more attention to how beautiful the sky was. I can still see and I enjoy watching the clouds on a level I can't even explain. Edit. Thanks to everyone for the love. You all have made me very happy. Exercise every day. Anxiety and depression are much easier to manage, and I got some confidence I haven't had in years. It even helped me make new friends. Same. I recently joined a nearby workout center and made 3 new friends in just 2 weeks. I literally knew no one around where I live, and this felt great. Got a motivation to go there daily as well. Quitting drinking is the best thing I've ever done for my mental and physical health, and it's done nothing but improve my relationships. The last year and a half have been the best I've ever had. I'm on day 19. Congratulations fellow newbie, day 4 for me. We've got to start somewhere. Keep up the hard work. Not everyone can afford this, but moving closer to work, my commute went from 45 miserable minutes in traffic glaring in hatred at the taillights in front of me to a pleasant 15-minute bike ride. I got an hour of free time every day and better health. Pandemic did me a solid on this one. Lost my job of 20 years due to it. 2 hours of commuting every day, which had just risen to 3 hours. Took a year off, then found a perfect job round the corner from my house. 4 minutes walk. Absolute game changer. Took a 20% pay cut, but we sold my commuting car, and with the price of fuel what it is, we're actually considerably better off. The 3 hours saved commuting means extra time with my wife and kids. I'm very happy. A 20% pay cut, but you are also getting 20% of your time back. Assuming 8-hour workday plus 2h commute, plus saving money on travel costs. Reading books way more. I started reading science fiction and fantasy books instead of everything I read being great or literary, and I found I like reading things I enjoy more than things other people deem relevant or worthwhile. Being okay with quitting on a book is also nice. I've trudged through so many I thought I should read. Bachelor degree at 47 years old, master degree at 50 years old, doubled my salary in 4 years, from just getting by to on track for retiring at 60. Do tell, what is your degree in? What inspired you to pursue at 47? Eating more healthily. Edited, getting a lot of questions about how I did it. Here's some suggestions with the reminder that this works for me, may not work for you. If you really are serious about losing weight, consult a doctor and or nutritionist. I was a carb fiend. Pasta, rice, bread, if it had a carb, I wanted 4 servings of it. Sugar is a carb too, so I started watching how many carbs I consumed a day. It shocked me, so now I'm a lot more aware of how many carbs I eat. Building on number 1. Serving sizes. To me, an open container of any size was a single serving. I pay attention to how much I'm supposed to eat. For snacks, I'm addicted to smart food. You can order a bunch of them in single serving sizes. Vegetables. I always ate veggies. Now I eat more. What used to be 2/3 potatoes or pasta or rice with a meal is now 2/3 vegetables. Cut back on meat. We usually go meatless for dinner at least twice a week. I hardly eat it at breakfast, and lunch is about 50/50. I'd say 90% of the meat we do eat is chicken or fish. I have always loved to cook, but now I'm really stretching my wings and trying things I wouldn't do before. If you don't know how to cook, learn. Alton Brown or Ina Garten are great starting places. Don't be intimidated by it. You're not working for Gordon Ramsay. You're just feeding yourself. Learn spices. Steaming veggies sucks. Roast that shit. Stir fry that shit. Eat it raw. Anything but steaming. Except boiling. That's worse. Bring your lunch to work. If you eat breakfast at work, bring that too. Same with snacks unless you can get healthy ones there. Don't beat yourself up if you have a cheeseburger. You are going to fail. I fail all the time. Every day is a new start. We only eat out or order out once a week. Water. More than you think. Learn to love to pee. I can't do this right now because I broke my foot, but a walk after every meal helps with your blood sugar. 10 minutes after breakfast and lunch. A half hour after dinner. All things in moderation. You can have butter or cheese or fried foods, just not every meal. And keep to what you're supposed to eat. It's a lot smaller than you think. Anyway, that's some of the stuff that I personally did. It worked for me. It may not work for you. I'm not a dietitian, just a dude who wanted to lose some weight. I am seeing this after I walked like a mile to buy donuts when this maple bar is good though did because holy cow, this is the most upvoted thing I have ever done. Thank you so much. All I did was eat a donut, and because some people are asking, the distance of the trip was 2 miles full way. I said a mile because it sounds better. Hey, at least you had exercise. I stopped living my life just waiting for the weekend. When you work 5 days a week and have just 2 off, it's not good to be always waiting for those 2 days. You can plan something meaningful or fun every day, even if it's just a small thing. Edit. Wow. Thanks for all the awards. I'm glad others have found this comment helpful. This is actually a life hack. Trust me, life is a marathon, not a sprint, and you must find a way to enjoy every day. At the end of the day you should say it was a great day or day well spent. I had someone tell me, life is a marathon not a sprint, but the better advice I got was, life is not a race at all. It's more like river rafting. And the point is that you're there with people you love spending time with and you're enjoying your surroundings together. Of course there's rapids sometimes and still waters sometimes, and usually you know where you're going to end up. But it's about the experience, not the destination. Listening to the sound of rain to fall asleep. Yes, absolutely. Nice one. I used to sometimes use my Amazon Alexa to play rain sounds or thunderstorms or stuff like that to go to sleep easier. Did that a few times, but my dad would eventually blast into my bedroom, turning on the light and waking me up in the process because it sounds like I'm running a fan. That shit ruined my sleep cycle a few times, so I gave up on the sounds. I started flower gardening. Really relaxing. You will see results all summer. Lots of successes and failures, but failures bring improvements. And I listen to Audible books while I'm at it sometimes. Especially great if you have a desk job. Edit. It's so nice to know so many are enjoying gardening. I had no idea it would be a Reddit thing. I've been growing produce on my apartment balcony for the past couple years and it's been a fun learning experience. Plus eating food picked a whole 15 feet away from your kitchen is kinda cool too. This year is my first year attempting some tomatoes, wish me luck. My social skills. Looking back, I could have made some awesome new friends. But nope, my anxiety driven ass had to be difficult back then. You can't help the mental health stuff you were given, and it may have just taken time to figure out your own strategies. I feel you though, I was not open to the idea of people for a long time. Agreed. I had an epiphany a few months back that I was way more scared of people than I have a reason to be. I've been socially anxious the majority of my childhood, and the effects of it is definitely a running thread throughout all of my personality. After a period of being out of school, I came back, and this epiphany hit me. I was lucky enough to realize that people are not malicious. A vast majority of us are very nice. So I started being myself more. I initiated conversation more, and I accepted the embarrassment that sometimes came from not having flawless social skills. It was an awesome period, and whilst I'm not meeting as many people day to day right now, I feel so much less stress around people. But this wasn't an active choice I made. It came from working on my mental health and view of people for months, and along with that, just like that, my anxiety let up enough to allow me to change. No one has said it yet, but laser eye surgery, best money I've ever spent. Had mine a month ago. Well, annoying for the first 2 weeks or so, but definitely worth it. So freeing not scrabbling around for my glasses first thing. My only complaint about my eye surgery is that for about 2-3 weeks after my vision was like a hawk, unducking real far-sighted clarity. I spent time outside just looking far away at leaves, but then it kinda settled I guess, and while I'm still very happy with vision quality and no longer need correction, it felt so great having that perfect crisp sight. Getting a WFH 40-hour-a-week Joby was working like 55 hours a week in a warehouse before. So much room for activities. Edit. This blew up, so anyone asking how I did it, there's a comment below explaining it in detail. I used to work as a kitchen manager for similar hours until about a year ago. I started a WFH job as well. It's insane how much more time and energy I have. I can actually keep a consistent workout schedule. I'm eating well because I'm not burnt out on cooking. I can keep up with my hobbies better than I ever have in the past. It's wonderful. Yeah, I can meal prep. I can eat lunch from my kitchen, tend my garden, poop on my own toilet, exercise, practice guitar. It's amazing. Working 55 hours a week versus 40 hours a week. I get 32. 5 full 24-hour days back and I make the same money over a month. Insane. Flossing. Open bracket. Actually, I use a water pick now. Now my hygiene and cleaning visits are a breeze, and I haven't had a cavity in years. Also, periodontitis is strongly linked to a whole host of diseases like dementia. https://www.nkb.nlm.gov PMC articles PMC 8,297,088 and heart diseases. https://www.health. Harvard. edu/heart health gum disease and heart disease the common thread. I guess flossing is a hugely underrated health intervention. Quitting drinking. Everything is easier these days. Coming up on 4 years. 5 with 2 slips, duck it, I don't count them. 1275 of 1277 is pretty damn impressive, friend. 1 or 2 slip-ups don't erase that progress. Finally talking with my then new family doctor about my misuse of decongestant nose spray. He told me it's a common issue and that there is help. 1. 5 years of tapering off and 2 surgeries later I used bad nose spray for the final time. I could kick myself for not talking about it for more than 20 years. Edit. I am working my way through the comments and questions. I posted it before going to bed and didn't expect much reaction. So, the addiction's name is rhinitis medicamentosa. So it's not an addiction like alcohol, in the way there's a reward system in your brain. But it's a self-sustaining process. You have an infection and take nose spray. If you do it more than a few days, the reason why you took it at first is gone. But these sprays mean the nose clogs again. So you take nose spray against nose spray, which got worse and worse over the years. Many asked which spray I took. I largely gave up talking about any names in this regard. By definition of stereotype, every Redditor except me is from the US. So your stuff has different names in the store than the German stuff I took. The nose spray I used is sold in Germany as Nozick, which has xylometazoline as main active agent. Some others asked about the surgeries. So here is more about the process. My new family doctor sent me to an ENT for help. He mentioned that next to the effect of the addiction, there's often a background to it. Turned out my concha were enlarged and my septum deviated. I must have broken my nose once. The ENT insisted it must have happened, although I didn't know it. Maybe when I fell off my bike as toddler or so. Both limited how much air could pass and made it even more prone to clogging, which was boosted by the misuse of Nozick. The concha were cauterized, so a small intervention, about 30 minutes plus a few days sick leave. The septum deviation was corrected via full anesthesia surgery in the hospital by the end plus 2 weeks sick leave. The process took so long as the end started with tapering off by flooding the nose spray with hay fever and sea salt once. Open bracket. Effect. Reducing bad nose spray from 5x a day to 1-2x. Then cauterizing, after which the nose needed to heal. Reducing it to 0-1x per day. Before the surgery, as the septum deviation is done in hospital, I needed to wait a few weeks until I could do it. And afterwards the nose needs some weeks to heal again. Got a proper diagnosis. I think a lot of people that for years questioned themselves what's wrong with me, when they finally got diagnosed it's a big relief and changes a lot in a better way. Me too. Getting diagnosed with ADHD at 36 and then following through on treating it was one of the best things I could have done for myself in the middle of the pandemic. I didn't even realize that I was doing a lot of things in my life on hard mode. Got a bidet toilet attachment. There's nothing like having a clean ass all the time. It also ruins your life because you can never poop anywhere else but home. Walking. I've got stamina again edit. Thanks for the award kind stranger. Walking every day is one of the best things I've done for myself. It's a stress relief and has helped to maintain or lose weight. Plus this is something I can keep doing into old age provided I have the mobility. Riding my bike at least an hour a day. Seriously, if you haven't ridden a bike in a while, it's just fun. Trying to be more positive in general. This is such a big one. Being negative is a bad habit like any other, easy to fall into, hard to break. People, including me, at one time, somehow think it makes them seem smarter, or deeper, or insulates them from disappointment, but it just makes you dragged to be around. Being a cynic isn't sophisticated. I had a friend who hung out with us for over a decade. His whole identity was being a ducking cynic, and because we knew him for so long, we just accepted it. But then there was a massive falling out, and he was out of our lives forever and we were all holy shit. How did we hang out with that dong for so long? Whenever we hang out as a group, it's always fun and positive now, and the silences are just normal silences. Not awkward quiet ones because he said something to bring down the entire vibe. I did fencing in college and after that I just couldn't make it work with my school and work schedule. 15 years later, I found a club and started doing it again. I hate every other sport and exercising just to exercise is unpleasant and boring. This is the only one for me and I needed something to make me active. Finding a good local club in your weapon of choice is so hard though. Finding the right therapist. Been in since I was 9 and found the right one at 23. It's only been maybe 6 months but I've already unpacked so much more trauma in that small time than I did all the other years wasted in therapy. Moving out of my home country. North Korea massive repping up in here. Getting divorced. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Learned Spanish. Now I have a lot of amazing Latino friends and I got a lot of great gigs and opportunities because of it. Setting rules for myself. After COVID started, I spent a year drinking and eating pizza every other day and at that time I thought why shouldn't I keep doing it if I enjoy it? You can die anytime so you should make the most out of what little time you have right. The problem being, apart from health consequences, that it quickly becomes not enjoyable and I realize now how miserable I was during that time. Most things are only fun when you do them occasionally. It sounds obvious I know but it was not obvious for my dumbers. Now I have set rules for myself that I can only drink on Sundays and only eat junk food once a month and it's so much more rewarding and fun. I begrudgingly started lifting weights when I was 30 due to some back pain that caused me to barely be able to get out of my office chair. I forced myself to go for a few weeks. Then I started looking forward to going to the gym. Then after a while I became a total gym rat meathead. I wish I had started lifting when I was a teenager. Not only did it cure my back pain but I lost weight, look and feel much better and the doctor says all my health indicators are spot on now as I am in my 40s and in addition it's like a hobby for me now that I tinker with and socialize with other people who are into the same thing etc. Meeting my wife. That woman fills my heart in ways words can't describe. It just can't be too much sooner because then I wouldn't have my awesome stepsons. Learning how to do everything myself. Car issue? Look it up. Fix my fence? Look it up. Just do it all myself. Replace valves? Look it up. If they don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content bruh. It's free and that's a great price.